Hello, today we're going to deploy a shared read-only contact list to iPhones using Hexnode. Hexnode is a unified endpoint management platform that lets you manage multiple device types from one console, not just iOS and Android, but also desktop platforms like Windows, macOS, and even Linux, and more specialized device types such as Vision OS and Fire OS. In this video, we'll focus specifically on using Hexnode to roll out a managed contact list to iPhones with Contactzilla. The basic flow is simple. We'll generate an iOS configuration profile in Contactzilla, upload that profile into a Hexnode policy, and then assign it to a device group so the iPhones receive it. So here I am in the Hexnode dashboard, and I'm going to assume you already have some iPhones enrolled and that you've created a device group. In my case, I've got a group called iOS Skyline Field Devices, which I'll use to control exactly which phones receive this address book. Now let's switch over to Contactzilla and generate the mobile configuration file we'll deploy through Hexnode. So over in my Contactzilla dashboard, I've opened up the address book I want to deploy, and I've clicked on Device Connections. And the first thing I'm going to do is select iOS from the drop-down here for connection type. The next step is to assign the connection to a team member. So in Contactzilla, you can assign a connection directly to any team member, and that's useful if you just want to get contacts onto that person's phone individually. They can scan a QR code and set it up themselves very easily. But for MDM rollouts, we use a special kind of user called an MDM user, which is a device-only account. So let's create one now. I'll head over to Team Members and add an MDM user device-only access. The email address here is arbitrary, so you can put anything in there. Hit Add, and that's done. You'll see that MDM user added here under Team Members. Let's head back over to Device Connections, and I'm going to select that new MDM user that we just created. Label sync, I'm just going to leave as the default setting. And now decide on the access level for the end users. So for most managed rollouts, full read-only is a popular choice because it prevents any accidental changes to your master contact list. You can, of course, do a full read-write rollout, giving the end users the ability to edit contacts. And if you do select that, we have a handy feature just here to give them that editing capability, but still prevent them from deleting any contacts. And I do want to touch on selective read-only because it's a very useful feature. You don't have to send the entire address book to every device. Instead, you can choose one or more labels, and only the contacts with those labels are deployed to the devices. So if I just add a couple here and hit create, you can see my selective read-only rollout is here ready to go. But I'm going to go with a read-only. And finally, you want to set the number of device connections to match your rollout, and then click Create. Under the new device connection, I'll click Setup and download the iOS mobile configuration file, which we can upload directly to Hexnode. So, back over in the Hexnode dash, and I'm going to start by going to the Policies tab here at the top. I'll create a new policy and choose Create a fully custom policy. With Contactzilla, you can roll out multiple address books to your devices. So for the policy name, it makes sense to reference the address book name itself in case you're going to roll out more. In my case, Contactzilla Project Cascade Tower, and then hit Save. The policy is saved, and I can click the pencil icon to edit. I now scroll down on the left until I come to Configurations. And I'm going to deploy a custom configuration. So click that and then hit Configure and then choose File. You'll see file type options like XML, PLIST, mobileconfig. We can leave those as they are. We're uploading a mobile config file and Hexnode will deploy it exactly as it was generated. So we click Choose File, and there is the Contactzilla mobile config in my downloads. I'll select that and now choose Upload. So I'll hit OK, and before saving the policy, I'll go to the Policy Targets tab and assign it to my device group. So in other words, we're telling Hexnode that I want this policy deploying to these devices. So I'll click Device Groups from the left menu, and then Add Device Groups. And my device group, Skyline Field Devices, appears here on the last page. You can, of course, use the search here as well. So I'll select the group, hit OK, and just before I hit Save, I'll pull up my iPhone screen and go into the native Contacts app, where you can see I currently have no contacts. Let's now save the policy in Hexnode and confirm that. And here is my Project Cascade Tower address book appearing already. All of our Contactzilla labels are presented as lists, so your contacts are organized perfectly. Let's go into this project managers list here, for example, and any changes I make back over in our Contactzilla dashboard. So let's first apply a filter for project managers. And I'm going to take this contact Anna Brown here and make a change to her name. Well, those changes will be deployed to the devices in your Hexnode device group. And you can see that that's updating already on the phone. And that's it. Hexnode handles deploying the configuration to the right devices, and Contactzilla keeps the contacts in sync across those phones. We've included some useful links in the description if you'd like to try this yourself.